You know, Korea is dominating a lot of the news headlines nowadays, and that makes a taxi driver, the latest Korean import to the US of A, an interesting view. Cinematic class is about to begin, and the professor is in. Ladies and gentlemen, just finished watching A Taxi Driver. Do not confuse this with Robert De Niro's iconic film. It's an interesting view. It all surrounds a revolution, if you will, that occurred in Korea in 1980. And the movie starts out, you think it's going to be a little bit of a comedy. The lead character, Kim, comes off as kind of a wacky, kind of crazy type guy, and there are a few chuckles in the opening reels. However, it doesn't take too long before the movie shifts gears entirely and it becomes very, very serious, dealing with dictators, a hostile regime, and the power of the people to contain dictatorship, as it does it in the province here of Gwangju, just outside of Seoul. So it's kind of an interesting thing to see what exactly happened here. I'm sure the script has been altered for a little bit more drama reasons. The taxi brigade, which occurs at the end of the movie, not exactly sure. I have to research that to see if that really happened, but it makes for good cinema and it's worthwhile. The entire movie falls into some kind of traps. First off, it was presented in Korean, and as a result, I had to read the English subtitles, and the dialogue there seems a bit stilted. Now, I don't want to say anything about the script writer on this because Korean language is one that relies heavily on inflection of voice, and as a result, it's kind of hard to put that inflection into subtitles. So it may not actually have been as stilted as it seems. It could be that it was just in the something was lost in translation, if you will. The other thing is, and this is a penchant for most Asian films, they tend to be too long. This one is no example, or no exception, rather. They used two editors on this film, and you know, my idea is as soon as you go past one editor, you're in dangerous ground, and I think it happened here. Some key points that they want to make and some characteristics from the lead characters that they want to bring out are repeated and repeated and repeated again to try to drive and they don't need to because it was done right the first time in the first scene. So it's something that happens with Asian films, and as a result, this one goes about 2 hours and 20 minutes, and that's probably a good 40 minutes longer than it really needed to be. Those items aside, this is kind of an interesting character study, and it's kind of interesting to see a little bit of Korea since they're dominating the headlines today. Nice to see what was going on back there back in 1980. The movie is called A Taxi Driver, and I'll have a look behind the scenes of this movie and some more commentary on the Outtakes with Fiore TV show. Now, those of you lucky enough to be in the Pittsburgh market, you can catch it on Verizon Fios Channel 32 or in the South Hills on Comcast Channel 7 Mondays at 7, Thursdays at 9, and Saturdays at 2 p.m. Don't you dare miss an episode. It'll be worthwhile, trust me, now that you have learned what you have learned. Here endeth your lesson.